A lot of people come to my clinic convinced that they have ADHD. But here's the real question: do they? Or are they dealing with something that just might look like ADHD? That's why we do a differential diagnosis in the evaluation. I'm Dr. July. I'm a psychologist translating psychology into straight talk. Let's clear this up. ADHD can be misdiagnosed, it can be overdiagnosed, it can be underdiagnosed. It's often one of the most misunderstood patterns that we see in clinical settings. That's why you need a good evaluation. Most people think it just means someone can't focus, but that's not actually what's really going on all the time. ADHD is not really an attention problem, it's an executive function issue. That's the brain's management system. Happens up here in the prefrontal cortex, right here. It affects the ability to start, stop, switch, and to stay sustained on a task. So it's not that attention is absent and took a vacation, it's that the control over attention is inconsistent. That's really what the person is dealing with. ADHD is also a regulation issue. Attention tends to be inconsistent. Even emotions can be faster and more intense with ADHD. And motivation, well, you know what happens there. It often runs on interest, urgency, and novelty, but not priority. That's why someone can look in on hours for something and trying to engage, but struggle to begin because it doesn't carry that pull that they need to get the engine started. Now, this is where the confusion shows up. ADHD is not a knowledge problem, it's a performance issue. The person often knows what to do, but execution just isn't consistent. And if knowledge alone would fix it, well, hey, they would already have it resolved. So that's not the issue. Now, let's bust some myths. ADHD is not laziness. Laziness is a choice not to act, not to do something. ADHD, on the other hand, involves intention without follow through. There's effort, but difficulty activating that. It's not a lack of intelligence either. Many individuals with ADHD are average IQ or higher than average IQ, strong thinkers. It's not has nothing to do with your intelligence or your ability to be a great person or succeed in life, but it has to do with activating oneself when you want to be activated and sustained on attention. So here's what it often looks like. A person sits down knowing what needs to be done, and then nothing happens. You pull out your phone, you check your phone, you may shift tasks mid task, think about it very intentionally, but still don't get started. Internally, there's often frustration like, why is this happening? From the outside, it can look like procrastination. From the inside, it feels like being stuck. So, this is why people who are looking from the outside, they get it wrong. People tend to judge the behavior of a person with ADHD and attach some really negative labels to it. They don't see the internal effort required just to initiate a task that a person with ADHD is having. And then because the pattern is inconsistent, it starts to look to the outside observer like it's a choice. One day there's strong output, another day there's very little movement. That inconsistency is a key feature of ADHD. So let's get this accurately stated. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental pattern. It affects how the brain manages attention, emotion, motivation, and execution. This isn't about character. This isn't about being lazy. This isn't about intelligence. It's about how the system functions, how the brain is functioning. It's all about executive functioning. This pattern doesn't respond well to pressure or force. It responds better to smaller starting points, reducing the friction that it takes to start, even using external structures, working with the system of your functioning instead of against it. When understood correctly, this pattern becomes easier to work with over time. Trial and error, experimenting, finding different ways to work with yourself. That's how ADHD shows up, and that's how you can still function with it.